Hi ladies and gentlemen, Murgo Reichenberg here again. This is going to be a neutral video, and as the header states, I'll be discussing capitalism versus communism. Before I begin, I'm not claiming to be an expert on any of these topics or subject matters, but I am going to give my opinion on the whole, just on the topic as a whole, and anyone is more than welcome to strike up a debate with me, so to speak, or just to comment in the comment section. Again, this is going to be my opinion that is also based on fact, but still, not that I have any sources, or nor that I'm going to bother with any sources or anything like that. Okay, this is literally just my opinion, but it is, even if I say so myself, rooted in fact. Yeah, capitalism versus communism. I am pro-capitalist, I'm not gonna lie, okay? I dislike communism immensely, and plain and simply for the reason that communism automatically assumes, to put it as simple as possible, short and straight to the point, communism automatically assumes that everyone, in most aspects, assumes that everyone is equal, and therefore everyone deserves the same thing. When that's absolutely not the case, okay? We find ourselves in a world where people are vastly different in all manner and all kinds of ways. And they therefore, some deserve more while others deserve less. Communism is predicated on the whole notion that your next door neighbor deserves just as much as you do. For example, in terms of material wealth and accumulations. So your neighbor deserves to drive the same car you drive, he deserves to live in the same house you live in and whatnot, when, again, that's obviously nonsense, that's total bullshit, even if I say so myself now. Okay, whereas capitalism is a free market enterprise. Capitalism is predicated on the fact that people that are creative and that have ingenuity and that work harder, generally speaking, get more, okay? And that is the way it's supposed to be. I, for example, cannot work 8 to 5, and my next door neighbor doesn't work 8 to 5. He only works from 8 to 1 p.m. And yet he gets the same things that I do. That's total nonsense. Or we have the same work ethic and working hours and work habits, but yet I work myself to the bone and I produce significantly more than he does. And he is more lazy and he just sits on his rear end, and yet he deserves the same as I do. So again, that in itself already tells you and shows you the differences, okay? And aside from that, there hasn't been a single country in the world that has thrived off communism. Every country in the world up to this point that, and it's gonna continue to happen to countries that are stupid enough to actually adopt communism. Every country in the world that has had communism as an economic setting or as an economic implementation, an economic system, has tanked either sooner or later. Cuba not doing great, China also the same. Now, again, forgive me, I'm not completely sure if these countries are completely communistic or whether they're just socialist republics, you name it. North Korea. The Soviet Union is the biggest example, okay, all the way up until its collapse. Point is that, again, we live in a world where people are simply different, okay? Some people are smart, other people are stupid, some people are good looking, others are ugly, and it just keeps going on. People are different, okay, and it is just a never-ending level of shades of gray, okay? You have people that have these strengths, but yet these weaknesses. And again, people deserve more, okay? Capitalism basically rewards, and generally speaking rewards, like I said, ingenuity and creativity. And therefore capitalism creates high morale in general. Whereas with others, with communism, everything is just flat, okay? And therefore there's no morale present. I mean, would you be optimistic in going to work, or would you, if you had an idea for an invention, would you seriously pursue that idea if you lived in a communistic society where everyone gets the same? where everything is owned by the state and your invention would also be seized by the state. All of your hard work, all of your failed attempts, everything, you sacrificed a good portion of your life just to create that beautiful invention, and then boom, the government just takes it upon discovering it, and you don't get anything for your hard work. That's communism. Whereas with capitalism, you have a legitimate chance to get rich, and you're generally speaking paid based on your educational level and level of personal creativity and ingenuity. That's capitalism, okay? And you therefore have a chance to make it. That's why capitalism has, again, I'm not saying that capitalism isn't flawed, okay? It has its flaws, but capitalism is still the best available system in the world, economically available system or economic system in the world, based on my own knowledge and experience. No, there's no debate about that, okay? That's why most countries in the world that are doing well are capitalist countries. I'm not saying that capitalism doesn't have drawbacks, okay? Drawbacks are corruption from those at the top, either government or big corporations or similar, and that capitalism doesn't exploit others for profit. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but again, each person gets what he or she deserves, so to speak. I'm not saying that poor people deserve to be oppressed, but again, there are multiple reasons for why they're poor and whatnot. 10 years ago, the system also had me in a cycle to the point where I didn't profit from anything. I was being profited upon. I worked a dead-end job. I made $200 a month? Not even $200. Let's just say $100, $150 a month. But back then, I was a mental wreck. I had a good reason for working that dead-end job. I was literally and figuratively speaking an absolute wreck. I was a train wreck of a human being. I almost looked like a hobo. That's the bad state of mind I found myself in. And again, therefore, I didn't deserve better. Now, I am on top of my game, so to speak, mentally. And I obviously make more because I deserve more. I make literally thousands more than any normal person would think capable. But again, that's due to my own ingenuity, my own skill, my own rare and unique skill, even if I say so, and my state of mind. Again, I was in the dumps back then, and therefore, honestly, I did belong in the dump. Okay, due to my state of mind. Now, I'm a lot better, so I deserve a lot better, and I'm also getting a lot better. So that's pretty much, okay, what capitalism is all about. Most good things that you see out there, material gains and whatnot, progress and everything, okay, from a technological perspective, from a scientific perspective, all of these things have their success, at least partially, to thank due to capitalism. Whereas with communism, I can't think of a single inventor that invented something back in communistic days. Again, I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. Point is that, again, with communism, you wouldn't be motivated to do anything. Daily life would literally just be a drag, and you don't want that, okay? You have the right to your own possessions, you have the right to do your own thing, and with communism, everything would fall under the state. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you say. Communism the government would own everything. The government would own the grocery store that you shop at. It would own everything, okay? The mobile network company that you work with for a mobile data plan. The government would control everything at a whim, okay? So again, in that case, what need would you have to work hard? You just say to yourself, what difference does it make? I still get the same thing. So communism, honestly, has an adverse effect on one's morale. At least you're completely demoralized to the point where you don't want to do anything. You're just thinking to yourself, what does it matter? What good does it do me? The government issues me the same thing. I get the same amount of food as my neighbors. I get the same stuff. I get the same shit. So why would I bother? Why would I bother doing anything? That's what communism in a nutshell is like. And capitalism is the exact same thing. Okay, if you're someone that lives in a ridiculously poor country, you live under horrendously bad circumstances, and all of a sudden you just get an idea in the sense of eureka, you have an idea to develop something or something that appeals to you in daily life. You're good with computers and you simply got the idea for a new operating software similar to Windows. That idea alone, if everything goes right and if successful, that idea will literally lift you from your poor position to being one of the potentially richest men on earth. That's the potential of capitalism. Free market enterprise is literally one of the greatest economic feats, okay, that one could think of. And it has done more for people, it has done more for the population globally. It has done more good than bad, okay? So yeah, capitalism is still the best available economic system in my opinion. And again, I'm not saying that it's not flawed, it doesn't have its drawbacks, but you can't compare it to communism. Communism is just a train wreck of a system. The intentions, I will admit, the intentions behind communism are good. Okay, the intentions of communism were, I think, rooted in the fact, or simply based on the fact that they just wanted, the inventors of communism just wanted to create a utopia, a world in which all men were equal, and a world in which everyone is prosperous. But now, newsflash, we don't live in a world in which everyone is equal. There will always be something to be envious of. Okay, I'm good looking, my neighbor is ugly, my neighbor is envious of the fact that I'm good looking. You name it. I have a better car, I have this, I have that. There will always be something. Okay, there will always be someone in the world somewhere that has more than you have, metaphorically speaking. And yeah, capitalism is realistic in that regard or aspect. But communism, again, communism is just, to be honest, an economic delusion. Communism is, again, like I said, based on the fact that everyone is equal and that everyone deserves the same, and therefore, you know, the world will look like paradise if everyone's communistic. But it's the exact opposite. It's going to be a living hell on earth. Whereas capitalism is realistic. Capitalism, you know, says, hey, everyone gets what he or she deserves. Okay, generally speaking, if you deserve this, then you'll get this if you deserve it. If you want that car and you work hard enough for it, you'll be able to get it. Whereas communism says, don't bother, okay? Everything's owned by the state. The state will decide if you get that car, but you're not going to get it. Otherwise, everyone gets that car. So you can imagine that you'll be doing nothing but during communism. And it's like the black cloud is going to be hanging over everyone. So yeah, that's it. That's just my opinion on these two economic systems, okay? Capitalism versus communism. Obviously, capitalism is the winner, okay? And that's it in any case. Thanks for watching. Bye.